Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and to buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We welcome to the network here on Huddle Up, the pride of Bayonne, New Jersey, Danan Hughes from the Kansas City Chiefs, 1993 to 1998. Also pride of the Iowa Hawkeyes, where he set a freshman record in receiving that lasted until 2006, and currently is tied for second in all-time career touchdowns at 21, which is probably more touchdowns than the entire team scored this year. But Dane and I, hey, do you know who you're tied with in second place? Career touchdowns?
Yeah, I think it's Tim Dwight or Ronnie Harmon.
It is Tim Dwight. Very good. Yeah. Very good. But Danan, thanks so much for joining us here.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Danan, as you look at, the Chiefs get a big win, 27-17 yesterday over a Patriots team that doesn't have the best record, but this is a team that was giving up since week 12 just 11 points per contest. How did you feel about yesterday's game, going to New England and getting a big win?
Well, I thought it was huge. Obviously, being in the booth, I'm there with Mitch Holthus calling the game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was a desperate need for a win. We lost 2 games in a row. That had not happened since 2021, and we weren't playing our best football. Now, the encouraging thing is we got 9 wins and 5 losses, and probably for 8 of those wins, you could probably say we still haven't played our best football. Some people might be discouraged by that. I'm kind of encouraged because the season's not over. It's December football. We got 3 games left. 2 of those 3 games are at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. And we have an opportunity to change that narrative and gain some momentum into the playoffs, whether that's a wild card round or if we can get the number 1 seed, which might be a little tough now that the Ravens won yesterday. So we can control what we can control, but going on the road in the AFC against a storied franchise like the Patriots and getting a win, even though they're not very good right now, it's still huge. So we got off the schneid a little bit, and now we're back on the winning track.
Yeah, Jerick McKinnon has a big game yesterday. He throws a touchdown pass. He catches a touchdown pass. That's only been done 2 other times in Chiefs history in the same game, where a player threw a touchdown pass and caught a touchdown pass. The last was Tyler Thigpen, that had done that. But, with Pacheco's injury and McKinnon now, is McKinnon maybe the second best receiver wide receiver on the best team, or receiver?
You know what? It's a toss-up because obviously we have Travis Kelce, which, although he's listed as a tight end, he's kind of a hybrid guy and the best in the game, maybe the best to ever play at that position. And then Rashee Rice has really emerged as the number 1 receiver on this team, and that's crazy to say with he being a rookie, but he's really come on strong. But I think you'd have a really strong argument to say the next best receiving threat on the team would be Jerick McKinnon because he does so well at mismatches against linebackers, and he catches the ball extremely well out of the backfield. And then that little shovel pass yesterday had a little razzle-dazzle to the Chiefs' offense in the red zone against a team that was really good in the red zone defense. So the fact that we were able to get touchdowns and not have to lean on field goals while in the red zone was key yesterday. And Jerick McKinnon, I think he's probably the number 2, maybe number 3 receiving threat on this team. It's good to have him.
And with your background in baseball, you obviously you play with the Milwaukee Brewers. You went through some slumps right now. Did you have that? Kadarius Toney is in a slump right now, and how do you get out of that? He's really struggling. He had the offsides call, a week ago, and then he tips that, basically just plays volleyball and causes an interception. How do you get out of that slump, and what does he need to do?
Yeah, it's tough because it's elementary things. It's, the easy focus. My buddy Sean Barber, who played linebacker here in Kansas City for many years, played in the league. He always talks about the first things that you should have and you should know and should be a staple of your existence when you get off the bus, when you get in the locker room, is assignment and alignment sound. To be assignment sound, that's what you do all week, studying your playbook, studying the schemes, watching film, recognizing more about your opponent, being able to anticipate things as opposed to being surprised on game day. That's what all the assignments and the study is. It's not just about watching film, it's about studying film so you can anticipate things that the defense is doing as opposed to just being surprised. And then being alignment sound, knowing where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, on the line of scrimmage, off the line of scrimmage, behind the ball, in motion, all of that stuff. And he has a lot of responsibilities. If you watch the game, there are times where, he's running in motion, he's shifting from one side to the other, he's running fake jet sweeps, he's running fake reverses, then he's also playing the conventional wide receiver. And that can be a load. So it has to come down to having a routine, just like we do every single day in our work life, having a routine, and then being assignment and alignment sound. And for some reason, the most basic fundamental things that you need to have as a receiver, he's had some lapses in. Now, he hasn't gotten to this point because he can't do it. It's just that he hasn't been able to do it consistently. And I think it's more between the ears than his ability. And that's where he's going to have to tighten the screws up, is the mental approach to the game. Because, he was not only is he in the NFL, but he was a very, very good college player, obviously an outstanding high school player to get to where he got to, and then to be a number one or first round pick. Like that, like I was a 7th round pick. So that tells you that for him, he had extreme talent and extreme ability. It's just sometimes a lapse of focus is what dooms him, and we got to get better.
As you look at the Chiefs right now at 9-5, maybe best case scenario is maybe moving up into that 2 seed ahead of Miami. Miami has the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills remaining. A much tougher schedule than the Chiefs. Ravens got pretty tough with 49ers, Dolphins, and the Steelers left. And I think best case scenario is moving up into that 2 seed. Is that something that's going to be of the utmost importance to get those 2 home games?
Yeah, it would be nice. I feel like obviously the Chiefs faithful deserve another run to the Super Bowl to have to be forced through Arrowhead Stadium. That would be great. But I also feel like we played some of our better football on the road this year, and this might be the year where we may have to go on the road and steal a win somewhere. It is quite possible, especially with all the parity in the AFC, that you may play a one game on the road, but then possibly have the opportunity to host an AFC championship again because of what you said, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Jaguars didn't look very good last night, but they're still a strong team. The Colts are sneaking up as well. There's a lot of parity, the Bills and us. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that any one of those teams, regardless of seed and regardless of where they're playing, couldn't snatch a win in the playoffs. So it's going to be a tough road, but just because we start the playoffs at the 2 or 3 seed does not mean that there wouldn't be a chance to host another AFC championship here if we're able to get on the right road.
Well, in the AFC, you look at that 2-3 versus that 6 and 7. That could be a dogfight. Where maybe on the NFC, that may be a blowout.
Yeah, exactly.
And the team I don't want to play in the postseason is Buffalo. At either place. I don't want to play them at GEHA, and I don't want to play them in Buffalo. They're maybe as hot a team right now as there is in the AFC.
Yeah, you know what? It's amazing. They were basically, you could make an argument, and I know no one will ever admit it at this point, but you could make an argument that they were one play away from going down the drain and probably firing their coach. I mean, that's how close it was. That play with Travis Kelce and Kadarius Toney last week, if we score in that play and we go ahead, they got a minute and 20-something seconds left with no timeouts. If they're not able to get a win, that drops them to 7 losses, possibly pushes them out of the playoffs, or at least gets them in a position where maybe they don't show up the best like they did yesterday against the Cowboys, and their season could be over and that coach could be fired. That's how things can change in this league, but you go from mildew to barbecue that quick by winning that game last week. And you're right. I would say they are probably one of the dangerous teams, not just in the AFC, but in the NFL right now. And they have some tough sledding too with the remaining 3 games. So you don't want to play Buffalo, and you definitely don't want to go up to Buffalo to have to play them.
Last NFL game I was at Buffalo. You were on the field.
1993.
1993.
Yep.
Very good. Again, visiting with Danan Hughes, color commentator, voice of the Chiefs national radio, and Danan, it's a holiday season, and just kind of a couple holiday questions. Do you have any particular traditions that you and your family look really forward to over the holidays?
Yeah, we are obviously very strong with our family. We have 5 kids, 3 grandkids. We have 2 of our kids that are married, and then 1 that's engaged. So we have the extension of the family, and we are the host house. So we actually do Christmas Eve, which is the December 23rd, easier said. And that's the day where the grandkids come over. They spend the entire day overnight with us, playing games, making stuff, all that stuff. And then they're able to go home for Christmas Eve, and then they basically all come back for Christmas Day. So with the game this year on Christmas Day, fortunately it's early at 12 noon. We'll be able to celebrate with everybody at 6 o'clock at my house. Wife does all the cooking. We do all the hanging out and have a little fun. So my family's from New Jersey. My wife's family's from New Jersey. She has a lot of her siblings and everyone that's here. Her mother here in Kansas City. All of my family is still in New Jersey. So it's basically our kids and grandkids that come over between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So that's kind of our thing.
And what's that one item that you're saving room on your plate for? What's your go-to?
Oh, man. Gosh. I think this year she talked about doing, because she cooks big for Thanksgiving. So you have all the traditional Thanksgiving plates. And if you want to see my plate, I actually post a picture of my plate of Thanksgiving on Twitter. So you can follow me at DAHughesGuy83. And that's quite a picture, I will say. I stack it. I'm a one-hit wonder. So I don't go for seconds. I just stack everything up on my plate one time and I eat it. And it's usually about a few inches high. Everything touches, so I'm equal opportunity. And then I just scarf it all down. So that's Thanksgiving. On Christmas, I think she's talking about doing some pasta. So we may have some baked ziti, some lasagna, baked zitis, chicken Alfredo, stuff like that. So chicken Alfredo is probably the must out of all the pastas that will be being scarfed down for Christmas, especially after a Chiefs home game. So I'll be ready to tackle some big plate after getting home from Arrowhead Stadium. So it should be a blast.
Outstanding. Well, Dane, and as always, I appreciate you being generous with your time here at the Missouri Sports Network. And even though you beat me 2 weeks ago in our fantasy football league, I'm still confused on that. I'm getting ready to go pick up Art. And we every Monday we do the Springfield Area Tip-Off Club with colleges and the high schools, and he's always got something to say there as well. But I always enjoy looking at it and reading the banter back and forth. I just haven't gotten involved.
Oh, yeah. Well, tell Art I said have a Merry Christmas. Great to have him back on the airwaves with us for the Chiefs Radio Network. And you guys have a blessed and Merry Christmas.
You as well. From the Chiefs Radio Network, Danan Hughes, ladies and gentlemen, back after